some stuff just in the background. So first thing is somebody told me online that if you get this cool figure right here, there she is right here, and this is what is her name?
Vaccines that we have available.
Hold on. Skip the ad. Check the volume. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Cool. The volume's working. Great. All right. So, Black Panther, the new female version. If you get this Black Panther figure, she has a really cool purple cape that works great with Evil Lynn. So I got a couple of them so I could use the cape, and I'll give the figures to my granddaughter. And so later I'm going to test this out on an Evil Lynn. I'm going to actually replace it for the cape I have now for my 2000X version. So that'll be cool. But someone is saying that if you can also put it on the new Evil Lynn, but you have to cut it down a little bit. It's a little bit too tall. So, but I'm going to use this for the Classics version and see how it fits. And later tonight, I'll probably be doing a live opening of this right here to go along with my smallest figures in the world. And I'll throw it in here and see how those little figures fit on this battle ram. They're kind of fun to check out and see. All right, so let's get to business. So you got some people on here. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Christian, thanks for joining us. Garcia, thanks for being here. Matt, thanks for being here. Yeah. Hebro doing Hebro. You got it. All right. So in the link, in the description, I have how to order these parts. So if you guys want to click that link, you can get there. And what it does is it takes you to an auction with this head right here that I bought from the guy. And the guy who made this head for me also made these parts for me too. So just tell him you want the Hebro yellow. 2 different versions of sword. Either get the clear swords or you can get the solid yellow sword, whichever ones. I actually ordered these ones, but he tossed these in just as freebies. And it's cool as you can see he gave me the heroic version of the sword, so you can actually put them together with somebody else, with Skeletor's sword if you wanted to. And then the little Bible, it actually comes from Amazon, and there you go. Now usually I add a small little rubber band or something on there so that Hebro can hang on to it with his hand, because his hand is open. But it might work okay with this hand. Looks like it's pretty wide open without the rubber band. We'll see. All right, so this was my original figure from a long time ago that I actually have redone a couple times. And he is now sporting some armor that was made by Barbados Customs, the one that has the link goes to, but he's actually has the Classics version on, where the armor I ordered just recently is actually made just like the old original armor from the 80s. So there's different versions you can get as well. All right, let me go and set that guy aside. You'll also notice that his arm cuffs and his waist is painted green, so I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to try something new though. I'm going to try this game ink instead, which should work really well. So we'll check that out. And then last, I have some blue tape, and this will be used to cover the upper part of the forearms and the waist, so I can go downstairs and spray paint it with clear when I'm all done. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and take a look at Clam Champ. I will make a faker Hebro. That'd be cool. Ramiro, thanks for saying hello to my customs. I appreciate that. I'm ashamed to say I have no idea about Hebro's origin. Well, if you want to know about Hebro's origin, I got the story on he-bro.com. And in there is a link to his actual story on that website. It actually tells the whole story about how he got the Bible from Marlena's spaceship. And it's a Gideon's Bible and kind of goes through the whole thing. It's kind of a funny little story. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out Clam Champ. I can't find my extra light that I was going to turn on. I have one right here, but it's dead. I forgot to charge it or something, or left it on accidentally. So here is the new Clam Champ, and he looks pretty cool. This, of course, I actually spent too much on this one because I ended up getting one on eBay because I wanted one right away. And so I could do this demonstration. Well, now you can get them at Big Bad Toy Store. No problem. I got a couple actually coming to me already. Are probably in the mail right now on its way here for the right price. So it's like, I got to at least do the custom before I get the ones from Big Bad Toy Store. Otherwise, it's a waste to pay extra for the figure. So that is why I'm going to rip this guy apart and do that. So on the back, they show the figures in the line. And then they show the clamp and how it works. We'll try that out as well. And then it shows him capturing Ninjor. Now, I really believe the clamp was made more for Snake Men to capture the snake bad guys, because you got the clamp, and that's why we saw the clamp with Battle Fist, which we know as Fisto. It says, a master of hand-to-hand combat, Clam Champ is invaluable ally in the fight against evil. Evil! You know if Mega Constructs is going to re-release Castle Grayskull? I'm not sure. That's a good question. Yeah, using Mr. T would be a cool thing to make some more figures too. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. First, he has an extra head, which is kind of reminiscent of the comic he's in that we see, Search for Keldor, where he has that smile and he's punching with his heroic power. Oop. And shows what comes apart and what doesn't. And I'm glad to see that his arms and his waist come off. That'll make it much easier for customizing in his hands and his boots. So that's cool. You know what? Let's go ahead and look at that comic. We can see that. So let me go ahead and close all my apps on here. Go to my books. All right, here is all my comics. And we are looking for, let's see, get the search up here. Clamp. We'll just type clamp. We'll see if it happens to find Clam Champ. What? Champ. There we go. Bam. And there is that ridiculous smile I was telling you about. There it is. And I think that's what this is supposed to be. Ooh. Right here. I kind of wanted to get the lighter one they released accidentally, because you can see in the comic the skin color is quite a bit lighter. And so I was kind of bummed that they went back and changed it again. But, oh well. It's funny, he catches the arrow. Does it show him using his clamp in this one at all? Look how they spell clamp in there with a K. Clam Champ. That's why I didn't find it. I spelt it wrong, according to them. Oh well. Cool, cool, cool. Anyway. Oh, in case you're wondering, Clam Champ's father. Let's see. So right here in the bottom, you can see we have some characters standing here. Oh, I guess it looks different than I remember. Interesting. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get back to opening Clam Champ, and I'll stop playing with my comics. So, there's his head. Here is his clamp. Here's his second clamp from the 2000, or from the classic version we saw. And here is the Champ with the clamp. And I'm going to go ahead and save his rubber band because I've been using a few lately. Ooh. It looks like this hand's been mangled. It is supposed to be a straight hand. I can see that now. Did he come with an extra hand? Oh, he did. So he does have a regular hand, so I'm going to swap that out right away. And let's save this rubber band. It's funny, when my kids were little, I used to always put the letters of their initials on their feet. So I'd put like their initials on all their feet. Oh, look, it's concave. Do we have... Okay. It's time to look at some of the other figures. I didn't think we had concave feet on the other ones. Oh, we do. Wow, I never noticed that. Just like the 2000 release, where the bottom feet are concave so they stand better. That's funny. All right, so really quick breakdown. Ankle, boot, knee, hip, turns up here, shoulder, elbow, hand. Let's check out the clamp weapon. Put those back in place. Pull the thing. Oh, you push it down. Bammo, and they all come out just spring loaded. So you don't have the chance to make it stronger force if you want. It's just one shot. The old one is you would flick it. It was actually gears inside there, so you can actually flick it harder and hold it and give it some pressure and power if you wanted to. The mighty clamp. I am Clam Champ. There we go. All right, let's go and swap out his hand, because that's the first thing I like to do anyway. Then he can hold his other clamp. Ta-da! There we go. Do I have the 2000X Clam Champ? Hold on a second. I do. So here is the staction figure of Clam Champ, which is what gave us that extra clamp. Now, unfortunately, the staction's not bendable or movable. It would have been really cool if it was. But he has that cool 2000X look to him. And, of course, he has the big old clamp over here, which is just very similar to what we saw a Battle Fist clamp. So it's kind of funny. And then he has all these hoses connected for power for some reason. Now, I get the power clamps plugged in here. What I don't get is the boot ones. I mean, was this how he charged it or something as he ran? Or I don't understand. But there is the Clam Champ that we got in the 2000X line. And it was a staction. And the nice part is his accessories were actually removable. So if you were tricky and wanted to mess with them, you could probably articulate it a little bit or use it in other action figures. Just set that right there. He doesn't want to stand. I can't stand. Yeah. All right. So, time for transformation. So real quick, we're just going to yank his armor off him. His head. Now, is this the exact same as Fisto's armor? Let's take a look and see. Because we saw with Classics, they actually swapped it up a little bit. So, yep, it does look like it's the same armor as Fisto. So, there we go. So, it's probably why he didn't have the sword attachment on Fisto, so he could use it on Clam Champ without having to add a sword. They probably thought ahead and said, okay, how are we going to do this? All right, so, there we go. Let's go and test out this armor that I got. Hopefully, it fits on there. I don't see why it wouldn't. All right. Now, it's kind of crazy. I had the guy make this armor for me, and it's kind of a light yellow, as you can see. But then I had him make the other armor for me, and it has a little bit more of a gold tint to it. So I don't know if he lost the secret formula for making the Hebro yellow from one batch to the next, because this one he made for me years ago, and the new one you can just see is a little bit lighter yellow than the other one. All right, I could see you guys got questions coming in. I will take a look at them in a moment. It's a little tight on there. I didn't think their torsos were bigger than the originals. Maybe we have to stretch this a little bit first. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. And there is the yellow. Let's pop his head back on. Now, if you didn't want to paint the parts green, you don't have to. You could just stop right here and be done. And that would be a cool Hebro too. So let's see, I got the clear ones that I ordered originally. So it could be the spirit of, and those fit pretty good in his hand. Look at that. That is cool. And that's probably the sword I'll use. I'm going to use the clear one. I just like the clear better because it's just, you know, it's the sword of the spirit. That's why it's clearish in color. And in my storyline, it actually transforms from the Bible. And let's see, can he hold the Bible? He can. Look at that. Without the rubber band. So that is cool. So that works out really well. All right, so that could be it, and you could be done. But I want mine green, so I am going to pull off his arms. Oh! Where's that Wookiee? So I can show him pulling the arms off. So now I'm going to pull off his hands. Pull off his waist. And let's go ahead and start painting this thing green. Now, in my storyline, he gets the power of Samson. And that's how he turns into getting his strength. So, a little bit different storyline than He-Man. So that's kind of what the idea is. And if you look at Scripture, it shows that when the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson, he became super strong. And it's the same kind of deal. Being he's the first Christian on Eternia, he has to have his extra strength to fight the baddies. All right, let's go and paint this right on. I probably should have washed it with alcohol first so it'd stick better. I forgot to bring it in the room with me. So instead, we'll just do a couple coats. Yeah, I should have alcohol washed it. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put this other Hebro in front of you while I go alcohol wash these parts really quick. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, I'm coming back. Whenever you alcohol rinse or wash, make sure you do a dry wipe afterwards. So that's why it took me a little bit longer. Let's look at your guys' comments really quick. Hey, Hebro, are you still doing the terror claws and armor? Not sure, Master Far. It's a good question. I had some plans, but I got so many other projects going on right now. I kind of put that on the back burner a little bit. There we go. The paint's adhering way better right now. Much nicer. And so what I'm using for this is that Gamer's ink. And it's kind of a clear coat. That way it still has the cool silver shine underneath it without having to redo all the green completely. So let this first coat sit on here. We'll come back and add some more to it. And then when I'm all done, I'll put a clear coat on it. That doesn't look too bad for the first coat. Stay. All right, second coat. Or not second coat, first coat on the other one. Way too much. There we go. Lighten that up a little bit. Now the trick is to make sure you don't put any little bubbles in here while you're doing this. So try to keep it bubble free. That's looking pretty good. All right, let's look at your guys' comments before I go do the belt. Should make a video taking the forearms off at the elbows on the Origins figure yet. Yes, I made a video actually taking the whole figure apart, all of it, including the forearms and the knees and everything. I think it's called pull apart or take apart or something like that. Yeah, if you want, I can. You find me on Facebook. I can send you a link, or if you put a comment after the video's over, I'll link to the comment. I'll put a link to it in the comment. That green, you can just see it show up on that red way too easily. It's probably gonna have a little bit of green on the red shorts. It's just the way it's gonna be. That's just the way it is. Oh, getting more green on his red shorts there. All right, let's let these sit for a minute while I check your guys' comments, and then I'll go back and start doing the other ones again. Yes, I know who Stanley is. The Super 7 5.5 figures, you mean like these right here? They have their pluses and minuses. I do have a few of them. Mostly I use them to steal their parts to make other figures and stuff. So now we're getting a nice emerald green color now that we got the second coat going on. And I think this might be it. This is what I'm looking for. All right, check that out. That looks pretty good. Now let's do this one. Sometimes it can take so long. It's a slow process to make sure you get it all covered just right. You haven't made any videos the past couple days. This has been really hot here. We've reached over 100 degrees on a couple of the days, so in my hobby room it gets extra hot because I got all these lights on. So that's why I haven't been doing some videos. So I might do a couple videos tonight just to make up for it. Looks pretty good. All right, let's take a look at your comments. I'm waiting for that last piece to dry before I start the second coat. What's the story of the color choices for Hebro? That is an excellent question. So the choices for the color is I actually liked oh, what is his name? Trying to think with the. Hold on a second. I will go get it. That way I can remember. I guess if I go get the thing, it's not really remembering, is it? Sunman. So I was a huge fan of Sunman. And you can see that he has a lot of yellows and reds and greens on him. And then there was another customizer that made the first Hebro by casting him, and he used those colors, and I just really liked them a lot. And so it's like, yes, that is the way it's got to be. So I actually did not go completely forward with the colors at first. When I first started making this, somebody else did. Master English was the first one to actually use the greens, and I really liked it a lot. He actually sent me the... No, it wasn't Master English. I'm sorry. Master English is the one who bought my figure from me. It was Kodo, Customs of the Universe, Matthew. And he's one that used the green at first. And it just looked really good. And he did it for the ones that he casted. So Customs of the Universe are the ones that actually ended up choosing the colors that I use for Hebro all the time. My original one was just a regular Clam Champ with gray armor on. And what happened was I bought a bunch of toys from eBay, a bunch of He-Man figures, and I never seen Clam Champ because I stopped collecting figures after the first couple years. And then when I saw him, I thought, who is this figure? So I asked the question on He-Man.org who this figure is, and while I was at work, a friend of mine, I asked him if he knew, and his kids had some He-Man figures, and he used to make up names and stuff, and he and I were talking back and forth different names, and one of them was Sphinx Store, you know, like a butt-faced guy, and other names like that too. And then when I told him about this figure, the Clam Champ without his armor on, we came up with the name Hebro, and I really liked that. So by the time I got back home, he was already named Hebro in my head, and he already had He-Man's armor on. So even though He-Man.org got back to me and said his name was Clam Champ, I already had him renamed to Hebro. So, and I was going to keep that name. All right, so those are done. Let's take a look at your comments. Hey Hebro, have you seen Back to the Future? Yes, that's an awesome collection of movies. I like all three of them. I forced my granddaughter to watch them too, And at first she was like, ah, an old movie grandpa. But eventually she did enjoy him too. All right. So I'm debating whether I should put a clear coat on or not. I'm thinking I'm not going to put a clear coat. It actually looks pretty good. I think I'm just going to put them back together. So let's go ahead and get his armor back on first. And then tomorrow that green should be completely dry. In retrospect, I wish I would have bought the version of these that was from the classics. It just seems to work a little better than these ones. I'm going to have to stretch these and put them back on, I think. If you take and you fold these straps under, I used to do this with my other figures, it will create a little bit tighter spot and make them stay better so they won't keep coming off. And I've done that also with my new adventures many times too, is just take and fold these under. Ugh. You can do it. At least until it stretches out on its own a little bit. Alright, so let's stick this arm on. Stick this arm on. Stick on his shorts. Put his hands on. Now, I'm going to be very careful not to touch the wrists yet until they can completely dry. Oop. He's already got a sword in his hand. That makes it really easy. And there we go. Now I got myself a Hebro. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, you get the sword. You get the Bible. There we go. How's that? Pretty cool. Oh yes, the hoverboards. I remember that video. That was pretty annoying. What customs do you have on your to-do list? I'm not sure all the customs I have to do on my to-do list yet. I have some in my head that I'm kind of thinking of doing, but I kind of don't want to really spill the beans in case I don't get around to it. I don't know if you guys seen this on my Instagram. I was just bored, had some parts on my desk, and I was in the middle of ripping the wings off a Buzz-Off from the 80s, and I thought, that's funny, I'll just stick them right on my tiger with the big head. And it just came out looking kind of funny. Oh, something else. My friend Brian, Nerf Curator, if you're out there, he borrowed my axe and my shield, sent them to Plastic Curves, and they made some ice parts for me that I just put a little bit of color on these, and these will be awesome ice axe and shield for my 2000X He-Man, the Ice Armor one. So that's pretty cool. Does Hebro have a sidekick or a villain? One time I made a villain for him as this flaming looking evil demon looking guy, but it was just too evil looking, so mostly he just goes out and spreads the word. It's funny. Some of you guys are going to think it's kind of weird, but when I first made the character, my kids and I were playing, and one of the first people that decided to follow was actually Merman, and my kids called him Fred Eckler. And so Merman was the good guy, and He-Man was the bad guy because he used the cultic power to turn into this blonde-haired, muscle-bound guy. And eventually Skeletor became the good guy. And so it was actually Skeletor and Merman and Hebro were the good guys against the Sorceress and He-Man. Which I know probably sounds a little backwards, but I thought that was kind of funny, something a little different. Hey, thanks, Sludge Master. I appreciate it. If you watched the whole video, you can see how I made it. And in the link, I have how to get these so you guys can make your own. Ta-da! So if you need to make your own, just tell the guy Hebro sent you. Tell him you want the Hebro yellow. Let him know you want the swords cast in clear if you want the clear ones. Or if you don't like the clear, you can also have the swords cast in solid yellow as well. And the link will actually go to this head. But the guy who makes this head is the guy who made the parts for me as well. So my original one, I actually used the sword from Thunder Punch He-Man, so it's kind of translucent. But he's going to get a new upgrade today. He is going to get one of the translucent swords. I actually bought an extra one just for him so he can upgrade. Upgrade! Oh, there we go. So my original Hebro just got a new upgrade. There we go. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let me check some other questions, then I'm gonna let you guys go, and then I'm gonna make another video starting soon of opening up that exciting battle ram. Wherever I put it at, just a knuckle. There it is. So the next video will be me opening this and trying it out with the smallest figures in the world and seeing how they fit on it. That'll be kind of fun. That's funny. Webster Unmasked. I didn't have a He-Man figure for a long time. Zodak was actually one of my first figures. Skeletor was my very first. And so I used to pretend like Zodak was He-Man, just with a mask on. So that was kind of always fun. Alright, thanks for watching, you guys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Check out the link in the description if you wanted to get some of these. And I will see you guys next video. Bye now.